Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad and I, are going to dig into the intriguing convo I had with Maggie Daniels in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that interview, feel free to pause this now, go back and listen to that one, and then come back and join us on this one. And I promise I'll stop hitting the table and my microphone, and I'm just going to professional. That's 121 episodes. I will.
Sorry for anyone watching on YouTube.
Oh my God. You guys, just so you know, 121 episodes in, and I'm still hitting this damn table. And I think it's the table.
Yeah, it's definitely the table's fault. Yeah.
Well,
I know. If the table was chiseled, maybe it wouldn't be.
That's a different kind of chisel. That's with an S and not a Z. Learn something new every day. Anyways, y'all, it is the end of July if you are listening to this in real time.
Yeah.
And my goodness, the summer is flying by, but
how crazy. I don't even understand.
June was
amazing.
The longest and the shortest month of my life. I feel like we went to 5 different states in that 30 days. We were home.
5? Holy cow.
Count them. And then we went to, and then we're home for only like 13 days. We had family in town for my dad's 70th birthday. We had friends in town to go see Sting. Then we had a film. It was chaos. And I'll get to a little bit of this trip down when I talk about my talking points. But now that we're in the end of July, you're like, Lesley, it's July. I know we're in the end of July, but June was that big that I need a whole month to recover. But we are going to accept applications in just a few days for my mentorship.
I know.
I can't believe we're doing it again. I'm so excited.
I love that there's an application process this time too.
Brad likes the system.
Well, there's a lot of interest and it's hard to choose.
That's true. I think at this point there's almost 200 people on the waiting list. So don't let that stop you. If you have not put yourself on the wait list and you're like, do not
let that stop you.
Oh my goodness, I'll never get picked. Well, you won't get picked if you don't apply.
That's very true.
That's literally how it goes.
Yeah.
So put your hat in the ring. So first we have to get on the wait list at lesleylogan.co.
Do they even know what this is wait list for?
We should tell them.
Yeah, we should probably tell them.
So this is a Pilates exercise mentorship. This is not our business mentorship. Brad
Correct.
is actually not involved in Elevate at all.
Nope.
He couldn't teach you anything. He couldn't stand in for me. This is, you get me for 9 months.
Yes.
And so anyway, so many teachers been asking me to teach them the way that I teach. And, we do little workshops here and there. And then I was traveling, and now I'm not doing the traveling thing that much to teach people how to teach Pilates. So I thought it's a much better and more fun to do a little mentorship, because then I get to have you for 9 months and I get to take you from the mat to the accessories, all the equipment in between. And you get to be part of a family. Like, truly, they call themselves a family. The elevators, they are not.
Is that what they call themselves?
They call themselves elevators.
That's pretty adorable.
Yeah, I know. So Elevate, I chose that because I truly, at the end of the 9 months, want you to feel elevated in your practice, in your teaching, in your connection to the method. Doesn't matter who trained you before. It also doesn't matter if you own any equipment. You just have to have access to a mat, a reformer, a wanted chair, and a Cadillac. And the other stuff we will go over. If you don't have access to it, that's a bummer. But some people have been able to rent from other people. Some people have been able to rent space in a studio.
Sure.
Some people have gone to other elevators' homes because they live close enough to make it worth it. So I really wanted to make it as accessible as possible.
Who is it for?
If you are a teacher already and you've gone through a comprehensive training program.
Okay.
So that doesn't mean
that's the only requirement.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to apply.
Well, yeah, you have to apply. The idea here is this is for those who have begun teaching.
Yeah, you've already been teaching. I don't have any rules on how many years you've been teaching. I know a lot of mentorship programs have that. I don't have that. A lot of mentorship programs have rules on how many times you've taken from me. I don't have that. As long as you like this voice, this face, and my opinions, you are welcome to apply. But I do.
All right, well, I think we can validate you a little bit more. For those of you who do not know, Lesley was, she has studied with a guy who actually studied with Joseph Pilates, right? So she's like, quote unquote, second generation teacher, meaning she studied with Joseph Pilates' direct student. And she's been studying with him for a very long time. And, the things that he passes on are what he remembers from working with Joe.
Yeah.
And so Lesley has a unique perspective. And I think also one of the major things that, having written all the marketing copy for said program, even though I can't teach said program, the biggest takeaway from my side of things is you will learn how to connect all of the pieces of equipment.
Yeah, and that's something. So I was a teacher trainer for 6 years for another company, and I have also been teaching teachers from all over the world from tons of training backgrounds. And the consistent thing I see, no matter which camp you were trained by, is that people see each piece of equipment as a separate thing. They see each exercise as a separate thing. And what I learned with Jay and all of the people who worked with Jay, Sandy and Karen and Ken and Dina, all of them, is there's one exercise. So my goal is to help you see how you can weave this in. And it's never like, oh, my client can't do this, this, or this, or I can't do this, this, or this. It's like what is possible, and actually being able to be free of programming. You will have to, while you're going through the program, learn, but you'll also learn how to ditch that and just let your eyes and your teaching gut tell you what this person needs next. And so it really does give you freedom and permission.
Yeah.
To be curious and to have a collaboration in your teaching. And it's so much fun.
I again, as an outsider, I get to hop on these calls briefly, poke my head in and wave. And it is just enthusiasm and excitement every call. And, we've got people from all over the world. And they, I was on a call with one of them and she said, I found my best friend that I didn't know I didn't have. Inside of Elevate.
Yeah. And
so cool.
It's so cool. So anyways, leslielogan.co, so CO, /Elevate is where you go to put yourself on the wait list, and then you'll be offered the opportunity to apply.
Yes.
We're taking applications for 10 days. So even if you hear this on August 3rd, you can still do it. All right. It's not a long.
Or if you're listening to this afterwards and this sounds like something that would be up your alley, we are going to run it again. So, just get yourself on the wait list and you'll be the first to know. We aren't really pushing this publicly. It's really going to be going out only to those on the wait list. Yeah,
because we're only going to take 12 people this round. And when is the next round? People are going to ask. I don't know. Probably, what is next year, 2023?
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be 2024. So, don't wait until next time.
Yeah.
And, put your application in. The worst case is I say, hey, you're on the wait list for the next round. Like, well, I may just do that. I may just put people on okay, you're on the next round.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out. But anyways, I'm really excited about it. It's one of my favorite things that I get to do in this business is spend time with these people and really watch their confidence grow.
Yeah.
And they don't know, but I'm like watching their bodies change each and every assessment from the person teaching them. And I'm like, whoa, they couldn't do that last time. It's so fun. So anyways, that's what I'm excited about. That's what's happening. What is our question this week?
Yeah, actually it's exact opposite. So we had a question from someone through Instagram on the Beit Pod asking, is it a waste of time to get only a mat certification?
I loved this question. So first of all, to the person who asked it, thank you so much for asking me. Because you're going to get the most honest answer, I think. I don't know. I'm really biased. But here's the deal. Here's the deal.
You will definitely get an honest answer. That's for sure.
It's going to be honest. And I'm really proud of it. So here's the deal. If you actually get my book, Profitable Applies Everything But the Exercises, the ebook is on our site. I don't know. They may even let you buy a signed copy on the site, but you can get it on Amazon. If you buy that, I go through how to pick a program. And I actually don't mind people only getting MAT certified in the beginning. Here's what I'm going to tell you, because it happened to me. You're going to want the full training. So,
well, let's just start off briefly with why, okay.
Why wouldn't you?
No. The book is really, really, really helpful for people who are trying to choose a program. In the book, she covers this whole conversation of getting the mat, getting these other things, how to choose a program, because there are many different programs out there, and some of them may be perfect for you and others maybe not. And the questions that Lesley goes through in the book will help you discern which program you may want to go get a certification from. So
and also,
you can find that at profitablepilates.com/ebook.
Yeah.
Okay, but
you can also get a beautiful paperback copy. It's pretty
but
stunning.
just to yes, you can, and I'm not even worried about that, because the question actually is it a waste of time to get only a mat certification?
So it's not.
It's not a waste of time.
No, but here's what I'm going to tell you. You're going to eventually want to get a full training. And so what I would recommend, you'll see this in the book in more detail, is that you want to find a training program that offers a mat only and then a comprehensive. Because what I don't want is you to get mat trained by someone, then you're like, gosh, I want to get comprehensive. And they're like, too bad we don't offer that here. Or we only offer the reformer only. Or
the comprehensive that you do want to go take won't take you because you didn't do mat with them.
Yeah. So
right? There's like so many possibilities. So there's a lot of thinking to do before you make that decision.
Yeah. So please make sure if you're going to just start off with the mat only, that you go through a program that does have a comprehensive later, so that you are setting yourself up for the next step whenever that is for you.
And also too, if you're like not sure if teaching is your jam, getting mat certified is a great way to figure that out, because it's less of a commitment. You're not doing a 600-hour comprehensive thing that is going to take you, a year. You can probably get certified in a matter of months.
Yep.
And then you can actually take some clients and then decide, like, do you love this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you don't, maybe you don't need all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah. And then what I will tell you also, just because I think it's, again, honesty is my policy. When you're only mat trained, then obviously all you can do is teach on the mat, and very few studios will hire you except for group fitness. And then you are going to be looking at a Swiss cheese schedule, meaning there's not a gym out there that's putting like 3 back-to-back mat classes. They're going to put 1, and that's going to be in between some sort of HIIT and some sort of spin class. And so as long as that works for you, like you only actually want to teach 1 hour a day on the weekends, great. That's amazing. Maybe you want your YMCA membership for free. That's going to be up your alley. It's going to be perfect for you. But if you are really wanting to make this another income stream, eventually I'm going to say you're going to need to get comprehensively certified so that you can actually teach on the other sides of that class. So yeah, it's not a waste of time.
Not a waste of time.
I love that question. Thank you for asking.
Okay, now let's talk about Maggie Daniels. Maggie is a poet, a writer, and a director. And she uses poetry for micro moments of emotion to process what she's feeling. Her screenplays are a deep dive into her psyche as she tells the story of raw human emotion. She battles dyslexia. She learned the power of the word no, and has written a book that is now available through Barnes & Noble.
I know. How freaking cool.
Pretty darn cool. And she also shares a little bit of her story about what she writes about and why she writes and growing up. So it was a really interesting conversation. And also what I loved about it was her frankness, and she just has no fucks to give.
No.
I loved it. I thought it was really great.
She was so awesome. I don't want to sweet can sound condescending, but she's sweet. She was just even in her fuckness.
Sweet but real.
Real.
She's
real sweet.
She's real sweet.
Anyways, well, I loved that she said, keep going and you'll get to your destination. And I love this with a love-hate relationship because it is so freaking true. And so for example, we went camping at the beginning of this month. And it's when we looked it up 5 months before, and we're like, yeah, we'll go camping with our friends. We're like, yeah, it's 3 hours away. Done deal.
No problem.
After driving 15 hours to Colorado, 3 hours
What's
is like
3 hours?
It's a breeze. Anyways, for us, it took us 4.5 hours to get there. We hit this traffic jam. It went down to 1 lane, and it was 4.5 hours. And we were frustrated. We almost pulled off and slept at a gas station.
I was gonna just sleep on the side of the freeway. People were going 5 miles an hour for an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was exhausting.
I was suddenly I was tired, and I was like, how come I shouldn't be tired right now, but I'm just like mind numbing, you know?
Yeah. So you pulled off to get some gas, and you're like, I think we're just going to sleep here. And I was like, that's fine. And then you got a second wind, and we left, and we got there. And we got there in 4.5 hours. Our friends left at 2 p.m. It took them 8 hours to get there. But here's the deal. It took them 8. It took us 4.5. It didn't take anyone 3. But once we were there, we didn't let that exhausting, treacherous drive take us away from being at the destination.
Yeah.
We fully we slept in. We pulled out early drinks and had a good time at Panguitch Lake, and it was amazing. And
we were in Utah at Panguitch Lake.
And it would have been so easy to turn around. For them, they had babies in the back. For us, it would have been so easy to even let that just ruin the trip. Just let that be the thing that the first whole day is about.
Yep.
And whatever it is that you're wanting to do, maybe you want to go our question asker wants to go through a training. Maybe you're finishing a training. Maybe you are thinking about going to school, or maybe you're wanting to write a book, whatever. Just, you have to keep putting one foot in front of the other, because they all add up and they all get you there if you just keep going. But if you turn around, if you go, you know what, I'm quitting. You're not going to get there. You're not going to be dropped
well, it's like we were
into the
talking
place.
about at the beginning. If you don't apply, you definitely won't be involved in Lesley's program.
Right. Same. Well, and that exactly. And also there's a difference. I just also want to say it's okay to do a pause or a detour. Those are different than quitting.
Sure.
Or not even starting. Okay. So Claire, our slingshot friend who's done some recaps with us, she's put some books down and then picked them back up. Kelly Forkenbrock, who is also on the pod, she put a book down for 3 years and she's picking it back up. Those things are very different than I'm done, this isn't working, I'm quitting. If you really do believe in the thing, keep going. Even if it's just 1 mile an hour.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about more about that later.
Okay, keep going.
But
we'll get there.
Yeah.
What did you love?
We're gonna put 1 mile in front of the other here. I loved. She said something very early on in the interview that really struck me. She said, "I think you asked her why do you write, or how did you get started writing?" And she said, "I feel like we are here, meaning on this earth, to be creative, not to work and pay bills and die." And I was like, oh, that's a perspective right there. I love that, because if, I think it's funny, we can get lost in that. We just get lost in the routine and the monotony, and we spice it up by choosing a different TV show, and that's it. And we just bang out a shitty day and then come home and drink a beer and enjoy a show. And that's nice. But if that's is that it? Is that the extent of life? And I love this perspective of I feel like we are here to be creative, not to just work, pay bills, and die.
Well, I also I just think back to some of the family members that I had in my life. And my grandfather, for example, when you met him, he's I'm just waiting to die. That's what
Yes.
how you doing? Just waiting to die. And what frustrates me so much about that is he was a super talented, architect's the wrong word because he didn't go to school for that, but whatever you call it, drafting, right?
Mechanical drawing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
He was brilliant and so smart and so untapped. And it's not because he was just I'm just not gonna, he wasn't given the opportunity or encouraged, to my knowledge, nor did he give himself that permission to be creative. Now, my grandmother was very creative in that household, so creativity was around, but he didn't give himself that permission as an adult. And I think that's why wouldn't he want to die? How did there's nothing exciting to live for. And I don't know, this is very dark, but I just think
I was actually not taking it quite that down that road. For me, I was thinking more about the artist's way.
Oh, yeah.
And Lesley and I just finished a course. It was a 3-month course led by a incredible woman here in Las Vegas named Sharon Gainsbourg. She's a sculptor, and she works with stone. And she's 80, 79, 80?
No, she's in her 80s.
She's in her 80s. Mm-hmm. She's seen a lot of life, and she has no fucks to give either.
She's also still making art.
Still, oh yeah. She owns a studio and she teaches classes and she teaches this book, The Artist's Way. And she is willing to challenge, people. I noticed you're wearing a great shirt that says "Women Against Bullshit."
Yes.
And she's willing to challenge your bullshit.
Yes.
Because when you go through this course, it's a 12-week course about jump-starting your creativity, of which all of us have creativity in us. It's just that we've probably suppressed it somehow, whether that's from, childhood, or maybe we had a tragic, letdown after some, event in our life, and we just kind of stopped, whatever it might be. That was our creative outlet. And this book is a process of working through yourself, through your mind, through those mental blocks to allow that creativity to flow. And when Maggie said, I feel like we're all here to be creative, not to just work, pay bills, and die, I thought, how that's so connected to this book that we just did. And but I think it's such a unique perspective.
Well, and also give yourself permission to be creative.
Yeah.
I really hope that's what she said does for you, because otherwise it's just such a boring life the other way around. I don't know. Anyways, I've loved it. I love her. I love that whole thing. And I hope we're all more creative.
Yeah. I thought you'd keep going. Oh, we're all more creative. Me too. I think, but what is creativity, right? And I think, having come from music, and the story that I was telling myself is that I'm an artist, I'm creative, so I have to do it with music, right? The idea that the only way to be creative is with writing a book or writing a song or painting, whatever. That's not it either. You can be creative with spreadsheets.
Yeah.
That's it sounds counterintuitive, but you can be creative with cooking. You could be creative with decorating. You could be creative with
landscaping.
Yeah, landscaping. You could be creative with dog training. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can be creative.
You can be creative with how you clean your house. You could turn on the music and maybe you dance while you're cleaning. I think we limit ourselves to creativity must be sold at the Blick art store or whatever art store.
Yeah, or it's Michael's.
Right? Whatever, Joann's Fabric is near you. Whatever. And the truth is, first of all, I went into those stores and they are not built the way they used to be. And it's not fun. It's very commercialized and I got really sad about it. So, but you can be creative in what you're creative about.
Yeah.
Is that too meta? Is that weird?
I think.
Did I use the word and then just
you did define creativity with
creativity.
The word. Yeah, that's okay. We still love you.
That's true. Everyone still does. Well, anyways, I want to know how you're going to be creative with anything that you have to do, because I actually think when you get those juices flowing, they're kind of hard to stop.
Yeah. And it feels good too. All right. So let's finally talk about those Be It action items that you went through with Maggie Daniels. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your conversation? I'm going to jump in first, and I loved that she said at the end, microdose your tasks. Again, we kind of covered this at the beginning about continuing to move forward, but she looked at it and said, when something seems very intimidating to you or overwhelming or you're tired or any of those things, especially when, for her, she was talking about writing, and obviously at the time, writing wasn't her gig. It wasn't what she was doing all the time. She was focused on these other things. So how did she actually write a book? How did she write a screenplay, which took her 10 years to write the screenplay, right? She said she microdoses her tasks, right? And she encouraged all of us to do the same. So it's it's effectively working backwards from seeing that bigger picture and then breaking it down into tangible action items that you can actually accomplish on a day-to-day basis. And even if it's only getting one or two things done towards the thing, towards the goal, it's, I just loved that she said microdosing because it made me think of like, psilocybin, mushrooms and all I was like, what a way to use that word. I've never heard anybody talk about microdosing your tasks.
Yeah, but it made me think of what Jillian Fledstrom said about like everything should break down every single thing so it lasts like you can get it done in 2 minutes. So anything that's on your to-do list, if it's going to take more than 2 minutes, you need to break it down smaller because we all have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And so then when like someone's late to a Zoom call, you have like something you can do in 2 minutes while you're waiting.
Yeah.
And so it allows you to actually move the needle forward and keep going. You'll get to the destination, right? If it's more of a smaller dosed task.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going to just start using that word. I'm microdosing today.
I love it.
People are going to go, what is she doing?
Well, what about you?
Well, she talked about find your people for the days you need a little extra push. And you and I love this so much. We have those people. I have them. First of all, if you are using an iPhone, sorry, Android users, I have no idea how you do this, but on an iPhone, you can put like your top, it's like 6 people. Like you can have like I
think you can put 9.
9. Yeah. On your computer.
Text?
Yeah. On the text thing. So over on I should tell you where this is like all going.
Yeah.
On your text, you can like have these little like favorites that you are always texting. And so I don't actually text those people every day or even every week, but the people that are in my top 6, I didn't know I could have 9. I'm going to add a couple more.
Sure.
They are the people that I want to be able to go to when I need extra push.
Yeah.
I hope I'm on their top 9 or 6 or whatever it is, but I feel like it's MySpace.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's like top 5.
And it's not like that they're like, it's just that I know if I text them, oh my gosh, today I've got this going on. I know I don't have to explain myself if I don't have time for it. I know that I'm not going to get a phone call. They are just going to send me, hey, thinking of you, you got this, whatever. And they do. And they do even when I'm not even asking for it. And so what I would just say is like, if you don't have these people yet, first of all, just see if anyone in your contacts is someone you'd want one of those people to be. Because some of those people that are in my top now, they were people that I would be like, oh, can I text them? I don't know if I can text them. You know what I did? I just texted them and then they texted back and it's like dating and then you make them a thing. So if you don't have them, go through your contacts and just see like who of these people would I want? And if you don't have that, then ask yourself like, where were you when you met someone you just like hit it off? You kicked it off with, kick off a conversation, invite them to coffee. Yes, it's going to be awkward. It's going to be weird. It's hard to make friends when you're not in school anymore. But when you have those people and you tell them who they are, you have to tell them who they are. Then you have them and you can just text them and then it can be a two-way street. And I just really, really love it. I think it's Jim Rohn who's like really big on like the average of people that you're around and you really are those people. So find your people for the looks to push, but find those people that you just want to surround yourself with so you can continue to aspire and grow yourself, because writing a screenplay for 10 years doesn't happen in a silo. She had people to encourage her and push her onto the destination.
Well, I love it.
You do? Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else?
No, I was just looking up the Jim Rohn quote.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I always would attribute it to Tim Ferriss. Sorry, Jim, if you're listening to this. But I just heard it on another podcast, and actually it's Jim Rohn who started it.
Yeah. Rohn.
Yeah.
I was just looking it up because I didn't recognize it as him either.
Yep. Apparently he's a really big deal.
Yeah. Oh, no. He for sure is.
He's really huge. Someday we'll have him on here and be like, hey, Jim.
Sorry.
But I'm so glad I know you now. Anyways, everyone, I really hope that what Maggie said really helps you find your creativity, own that part. And we didn't even talk about it, but she's dyslexic, y'all.
Yeah.
And she's writing. So whatever
how crazy is that, right?
Yeah.
Like imagine that being like a major roadblock when in your youth. And then, she figured out how to work her way through it by microdosing those tasks.
Yeah. Okay. One more thing before we let you go. So I'm listening to this book again, We should all be millionaires. And yes, I will have her on the pod. She is on the wish list. I'm going to have to just like DM her every day until she's like, please stop. I'm coming on. But she talks about removing but from our vocabulary. So like for example, in
but
the
I
book,
really like
with the double T.
Just kidding.
You can use bibrua, which is Cambodian for but. No one will know. But here's what shit. All right. And here's what it is. When you, instead of saying but, replace it with and. So in her example, in her book, it is like, I want to buy a house and I have credit card debt. Instead of, but I have credit card debt.
Sure.
So owning the thing. So the reason this came up for me is like Maggie is a writer and she has dyslexia.
Right.
But I'm dyslexic. Do you see the difference? Like, do you hear it? Like, and it makes a massive difference.
Or you could even swap it out to despite.
Yeah, but I think it's about ownership.
Okay.
I think that it's more about ownership and not letting that thing be an obstacle at all. So despite means like you still overcame the obstacle, and it's just saying, like
it's also there.
It's also there, and what I like about it is it's helping us ditch perfection, everyone.
Right.
And it is allowing us to not be a victim or hold ourselves back from whatever that thing is that you would put but in front of. So you put and, you own it, and you're not letting it be the thing that keeps you from doing what you're here on this planet to do.
Well, I think that is a wrap.
Yeah, I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so grateful for you. How are you going to use these tips in your life? We want to know. Tag the Beit Pod, tag Maggie Daniels. Let us know which ones worked for you. Let us know what you're inspired by, and send it to a friend. Here is the deal.
Yeah.
By now, because I can't see into the future, but we should be about 50,000 downloads. We didn't get there because of like just me and Brad talking into a microphone. We got there because of you. So every time you share this pod with a friend, you text a friend, you tag them in our Instagram accounts, you post it to your stories, you are influencing people to change their lives and be it till they see it. And we could not be more grateful. So keep doing it because we couldn't get there without you. And we'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of As the Crows Fly Media.
It's written, produced, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell. Our associate producer is Amanda Fraterelli.
Kevin Perez at Diseño handles all of our audio editing.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to our designer Jaira Mandal for creating all of our visuals, which you can't see because this is a podcast, and our digital producer Jay Perdoso for editing all the video each week so you can.
And to Angelina Herrico for transcribing each of our episodes so you can find them on our website. And finally to Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time.